Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to my channel, Rashida. And I'm Rashida Dow. And I am here today to talk to you about how to make your career break the best ever. As usual, I showed up with ashy hands, but I'm not going to have y'all talking about me. So, listening up. Welcome to everyone who's in the comments. Hey, so glad to be here with you guys today. We're going to do this. I already put out a call for questions. So if you have questions about your career break, feel free to throw them in here. I use too much lotion, so feel free to throw them in the comments. I'm very excited to be here with you guys. I wasn't here last week because I was sick, and guess what? I'm still sick. I think I got the flu in America. I was there for a week and I haven't been able to get out of bed. Get off the couch. I can get out of bed and move to the couch. I haven't been able to get off the couch since I got here. But I'm very excited to be here with you guys today. I have a list of 10 things you should be doing on your career break to make sure it's the best break ever for you. 10 things that you can cater, that you can tweak to work for you so that you have a really good time. But I'm also here with questions. If I can't type, you know why. One pump was too much. All right. Hi, y'all. Did you miss me last week when I wasn't here? Hey to everyone in my YouTube membership who's here right now. I see Amina and Locating Cozy and Sarah Wright, who I think is down the street from me right now or somewhere around here. Glass Half Full, Yigami, Teresa Williams. Hey. The flu had you down for 2 weeks. I'm on day I think this is day 11 or 12, and every day I have a fever. And I got a flu shot in September. What is this? I got a flu shot. I got a COVID shot. I want to be good. But that's not apparently how the medicine works. So, all right. Hey, Monica, Adelina. All right, so let's go. I'm getting my blanket, getting comfortable. As we go along, drop any questions you have about a career break in the comments. Let's do this. So I'm going to give you a list of things that I think you should be doing on your career break to have the best break ever. There's 10 things. All 10 of them aren't going to be things you want to do. But I think they're things you should consider doing in a way that works for you. Consider. Give me 1 second because I also asked on Instagram. I'm over on Instagram at Sheeta D. I asked if anybody had any. Make sure the volume on this is down. Questions, and then I forgot to check for questions. Oh, okay, that's a good question. We'll get to that. So let me give you my list, starting with number 1. The first thing you should be doing on your career break is, who knows what I'm going to say? Who knows? Raise your hand. What is the first thing you should be doing? The number 1 thing that you should be doing for yourself on a career break? Rest. Y'all need some rest. Yes. Pray, travel, eat. Let's talk about it with Mara said resting. Monica Adelina said resting. Yes. Y'all know. Y'all need some rest. That's the first thing. If you were at the rest session we did with Octavia Rahim on Friday for our kind of last Exodus Summit wrap-up event, you know that there are a lot of tools you can use for rest, and she shared some of those with us, and they were beautiful. Oh, wait, do I still have this open? No, that's not it. If you attended Exodus Summit, you'll get the email with what she sent. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll drop her website. I know I have it. I can feel a sneeze about to come. Remember I told you I wouldn't be able to type? I just typed Octavia. Octavia Rahim is our rest guru. She did a great session with us. I just dropped the link for her in the chat. Octavia Rahim is, go to the website, you'll see who she is. Amazing. Like the rest. Teresa Williams says, bonus rest session was everything for me. Okay, now I need to remember that there are two Teresa Williams here. And you're not the same person. I think this is a different one. Bonus rest session was everything for me. Yes. Yes, the rest session was absolutely amazing. And really taught us some lessons about how to like dig deeper into who we are, what we're doing, what's going on with us, and how we can find rest even when we fight it. She's amazing. That replay is available now. It's up next to the summit. Okay, first thing you need to do, rest. Whatever that means for you. You've probably been carrying a lot of weight, carrying a lot of burdens that might not even be your own, right? You have been for the past however many years resting. You've been carrying other people's weight for a long time. And so I want you to find a way to rest. Octavia is doing a retreat in May in the mountains in Georgia that still has some space available. So, get into that if you want to. I would be there, but her dates don't work for me. But I'm gonna be there. I'm making my way. I'm trying to find more ways to get Octavia into my life. There are, as you know, other people who talk about rest. Octavia is someone who really resonates with me. Like the way she talks about rest really feels good to me. And so I like getting her teachings. Her book is on Audible. I see that. High Vibe. One of the things that surprises people the most when they stop working and they're not looking for work, right? There's ways to stop working where you're like in that frantic chaos. Oh my God, if I don't get another job today, I'm going to be homeless tomorrow phase. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when you voluntarily or involuntarily stop working, but you give yourself a time to pause. If you give yourself a time to pause, it can be hard to pause. Pausing can be a challenge, even if you plan it. You say, I'm going to take 3 weeks off, a month off, 7 months off. I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to take 2 years off. Whatever that number is for you, whatever that amount of time is, it can be very challenging to get in the mindset of not creating more work for yourself. I'm so sorry. If you're here for the first time, my name is Rashida Dow. I'm a career break coach. And that's why I talk about this. I talk to women all the time about career breaks. In fact, we have group coaching this evening for From Burnout to Bliss, which you can get at fromburnouttobliss.co. I'm going to drop this in the comments. I'm very excited about our group coaching tonight. I can't spell though. I know I'm all over the place right now, but I've got the flu, so okay. Yes. So that's the link where you can get From Burnout to Bliss, and you can join us in group coaching tonight. It's Sunday, November 12th. We have a coaching at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Boom, bam. You can join us if you click the link before 8 p.m. Eastern time. Because taking a break is important. We have been taught our whole lives that like not only is work the most important thing in our life and the thing that's most valuable, but that if you don't like those breaks between work, are like worthless and they're a waste of time. And that's not a good look, right? Like so many times I talk to people who are like, I want to take a break, but what are people looking at my resume in the future going to think? And I'm like, I get it. But a lot of times when people need a break, it's because they're on the edge. Like they cannot take what they're doing anymore. And so for their physical and mental well-being, they need a break. If you need a break, you need to take a break, regardless of what people think about your resume. And I always say that the people, truly, when you think about the coworkers you've worked with, the bosses you've worked for, the people who've worked for you, are the people who would never understand you taking a break or taking time off without work, you taking a career break. The people who would be like, why would you ever do that? Ew, what are those people you want to work for? I really feel like if you put a career break on your resume, right? Like if you have it there, I rested. I ate coconuts on the beaches of Thailand. And they're like, well, obviously you're not going to be an employee because you take time off for yourself. Like, is that someone you want to work for? I would rather know in the interview stage that they look down on career breaks, because that's not a human I want in my life, right? And if that's the hiring manager, I don't want, if I have to work for a person who is not human enough or in touch with their employees enough to know why, especially recently, we might all need a break. I don't want this job. And there are people who will look at your resume and be like, oh yeah, great. Awesome. Cool. I did that 20 years ago, right? But there are people who, those are your people. The people who are like, yes, I understand. Those are your people. Give me a second. I took time off to eat coconuts. Yes. And I'm drinking coconut water. Okay, From Burnout to Bliss is group coaching, but group coaching is the best coaching. Trust me. I do one-on-one coaching if you want results today. Like if you want to leave tomorrow, I recommend my one-on-one coaching, which you can get at rashidadow.com, boop, boop. But if you have some time between now and when you want to leave, being in community with other women who want the exact same thing you want, that's the way to get it done. Oh, Coco, this is so cute. So profound, not cute. The space between the notes is what makes the music meaningful. Yes. Yes. We need to rest as humans. We need to recharge. And we need to rest not because it makes us better employees, right? Like there's a lot of language in the career break space about, I am coming back for, and I think I've used this language before, back when I thought it was helpful. I don't necessarily find it helpful anymore. I used my break to learn and blah, 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 and come back refreshed so I can be a better employee. No, I took my break and napped and ate coconuts. And I don't know if I'm a better employee, but I'm a better person, right? Like, no. Mm-mm. Myra wants to eat yellow mangoes off a tree. I love it. I love it. Teresa's quietly quitting and taking her year-long sabbatical in 2025. I love it. B's also a 2025er. Yay. I'm very happy for you guys. Okay, so rest. Rest can look like whatever you want it to look like. But rest should be a time where you're not picking up other projects and hobbies. I talk to a lot of people who are like, oh yes, when I quit work, I cannot wait. It's going to be so great. I'm going to have the time to build the addition to my garage. I'm going to be able to write my book. I'm going to be able to sail around the world. And those are all great things. And we don't get to where those go in your career break later on. But I don't know if you've talked to many authors, but generally when they're in the writing process, they're not relaxed. Those are not relaxed, stress-free people. It's not like writing your book looks like waking up and writing for 30 minutes and then go walking on the. That's not what it looks like for most writers. Most writers are like, I got to sit at this computer all day, or like, for like hours and like write one sentence. And I don't know writers who find it generally to be a relaxing, writers who are writing to write a book for sale, right? If they're writing for themselves, maybe, but writers who are writing for themselves generally aren't like, oh, this is so fun. It's a beautiful process. I mean, if you're a writer in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know. I don't think I'm wrong about that. All the writers I talk to are like, the book's coming along. Don't ask me nothing about it. Right? Like they're not, it's not like a relaxing process. Yeah. Yami Couture Crochet says it isn't a relaxing process. Deborah Johnson says, I'm following some people who are doing NaNoWriMo. That's National Novel Writing Month, I believe. Nonfiction or novel? Nonfiction. What's the no stand for? I can't remember. I tried it a couple times and I was like, it's not for me. It's not for me. Deborah says they're stressed. Yes. Right? So yes. So you can do hobbies in your break, and I'm going to talk about that. But first, you need to take a nap. Yes, B says the book is coming along. That's the quote. The book is coming along. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With like a little smile, like, the book is coming along. Because they're working. Because writing is working. Novel. Okay. I thought it was novel. But then I thought it was wrong. I don't know. I saw someone. Okay, Deborah Johnson says, I took off work for 2 months early this year. I needed the first month just to sleep and rest. Yes, that is my recommendation for anyone who is going to take a career break. Plan somewhere between, depending on how long your break is, plan 2 weeks to a month to do like nothing. Just sleep. And that sounds crazy, right? Like who needs to sleep for a month? You do. Because you got a lifetime of tired. You have a lifetime of tired in your bones. You need to sleep for a month. And so take some time to sleep. That's the first thing I want you to do. Just rest. Resting does not mean picking up a project, even if you like a project, right? I like to crochet, so I'm going to start a crocheting project. No. Mm-mm. I want you to lie down. Maybe you let Netflix watch you a couple afternoons, right? As your eyes start to close. Maybe you listen to some meditations, right? Once a day. Maybe you do something that is just relaxing and gives you time to sleep where you don't have to like think about a thing, right? Like, did I drop a stitch somewhere? That's crocheting, right? Is this right? Am I following the pattern? That's too much. That's not telling you. It sounds crazy, but I'm saying, am I following the pattern? Is this right? That's where I want to leave rest, right? Real quick. If you're doing something and part of your question is, am I doing this correctly? Is this right? You're resting wrong. Because with rest, all you need to do is just lay down. There's no question if you're doing it right. Are you horizontal? Are you in a chair with your eyes closed? Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating foods? Sleep and eat for like a month. Oh yeah, Maya. who, I can't remember if you're a leader. I know you're in after Exodus Summit last year, a number of women who were looking at writing started a Facebook group. And I think Maya is the leader, one of the leaders. I don't know. I don't want to make stuff up. But yes, she's a writer and president of her local writers club. Writing a book is definitely not stress-free. Writing is work. It's work we love, but it's still work. Yes, work you love, no matter what people say, work you love is still work. Because even work you love is going to come with parts of it that you don't love. All right. Teresa Williams says, my sabbatical will probably involve a Spanish immersion program in Spain or Mexico, but also plan to travel with ease at that time. Yes, Spanish immersion program sounds lovely. Like later on in the program, later on in your sabbatical, not right away. Right away, trust me, you need to sleep. All right, I feel like we've talked about rest. All right. The next thing, guess what? Explore a hobby. I think that a sabbatical is a great time to explore a hobby you haven't had time to spend time with in a while. So if you want to crochet or learn how to crochet or learn how to sew or write the next great American novel, go for it. Right after sleeping. Do it. Take your time. Hi Vibe, you asked about joining the group. I think you're in the Exodus Summit Facebook group. If you are, you can find the info in there. I won't drop it here because I don't know if it's a public group. Or Maya can give you the info. I don't know. All right. Explore a hobby. You have time off that you don't normally have in your life. So to get the most out of your break, do something fun, right? Like, did you used to love to rollerblade? Dig those skates out of the garage and try not to break an ankle because you're much older now. You're not going to heal like you used to heal, baby. But still, right? Like, try something new. Do something fun. Pick one thing and learn something. Right? Exploring hobbies. Monica Adelina, who started her we're going to call it a sabbatical. She moved abroad. She moved to Mazatlan and all her business in the street. Full name, business, everywhere. And she hasn't gotten to exploring hobbies yet, but she has been having a blast. Sassy Travel Goddess says, I always want to learn how to play the piano. Get yourself a keyboard. Put it in a room. There have to be like really great ways to learn piano now that didn't exist when I was taking lessons 40 years ago. Right? There have to be really great ways. Pottery classes. I do want to take a pottery class. I do want to do that. So yes, there are. I've done that before. Something I really enjoy pottery. Enjoy painting. Thank you, Love by Ya. I am looking forward to the ways that we can step into our fuller self on our break by taking these times to like do the things you want to do. Okay, so I'll give you more about the makeup in the description later, but I do have the lip gloss here. It's Dior Lip Glow Oil in 004, which is Coral. Thank you. With like a Charlotte Tilbury liner. One of the Pillow Talks. No, I think it's Foxy something. All right, back to it. Yes, skating. I want to ice skate. There's a place that I can get to easily that has an ice skating rink. Why am I not ice skating? Every time I see it, I'm like, I should be ice skating there. And then I don't do it, right? But like, I think I need to set up times for myself where like I pursue a hobby because it's really easy to fall into the like, I have all these things to do. So I'm going to do, I'm a person who's like, I have all these things to do. So I'm going to do nothing. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. So I'm going to do nothing. It's a way. It's not necessarily the way. It's not necessarily the way I'd recommend, but that's very me. And so actively pursuing a hobby will give you something fun to do that's not looking for work. Tracy plans to take a tamale and pozole cooking class. All right. I love it. I love it. All right. Oh, Mira's learning the Spanish guitar. Is it Mira or Myra? I will say both interchangeably. Apologies. I know I said Myra earlier. All right. The Body Electric Supplement is actively imagine what my life looks like as a retiree. And these are things if you're retiring too, but you should be thinking about. Like, how are you going to spend your time? You should be napping your first few months as a retiree. Listen, okay, so here's the thing that comes up a lot and why I want to talk about this topic. A lot of times when we clear our plate and we say, I am not anymore. I am not working for forever or for however long I decide. I am not doing the things. I am taking the time. Slate cleared, calendar cleared. It is me time. Often, people in our life will say, oh, you have nothing to do. How about this? I mean, I know some of y'all are experiencing that or have experienced that. People will say, oh, well, since you're not doing nothing, can you help me, the church, my mama, my nephew needs, can you watch the kids? Listen, y'all start retiring, you're gonna hear, can y'all watch the kids? Can you watch the kids? So before other people see the plate you have cleared to step more fully into who you are as an empty plate for them to drop stuff on, make a plan. You can't watch the kids because every Tuesday and Thursday you go to pottery class. And that's real unfortunate for the kids. Maybe you can watch them one night a week. Maybe. No, you don't have money for whatever because you need to pay for your cello lessons. Yes, Amy Couture Crochet was with me. She said, watch my kids at the same time. Yes. Clearing your plate for you does not mean clearing your plate to take on other people's burdens, because what are we doing? We are getting rid of the burdens we've carried our whole life. We're not adding on more stuff. So even for the retirees, you need a plan. Or you'll be watching them kids every day after school. And maybe that's what you want. If that is your hobby, write that down as the hobby, right? That's what you're going to do. That's what, after you rest, tell them, yes, I'm retiring in July. I can start watching the kids 3, 2, 1, 0 days a week in September. The Black Cat says, or just say no. Just say no. And the reason I didn't say this, I think it's a great point, is that there are a lot of women that I know, and some of them are in this community, who struggle to say no, especially to their family, especially if they specifically can identify the need and see that it is a need that needs to be filled. They have a really hard, because of our programming, that we need to be everything for everybody. I have a really hard time saying no. And so, if you have a hard time saying no, know that you need to say yes to yourself first. You need to put the things in play, schedule out the days that you want to be doing stuff, and know that those are not negotiables. No, I can't pick up the kids after school. I can't run to the store and get groceries for you because you have 17 things going on because my poker club meets today and I have to be there. Oh no, I can't miss. No. No. My poker. I'm learning how to ice luge. And I'm so sorry. If I miss a lesson, I don't get to make that up. They'll kick me off the team, right? Like, and it's not about like coming up with a lie. It's about like having a partially full life, because I don't want you to fill your days with everything. Having a life that is for you, that you have created with you in mind, so that you can help others. I'm not saying this is a time for you to be completely, I'm saying that I will always say you should be selfish. I'll never tell you not to be selfish. Responsible daughter syndrome here. I got over it. It's Sassy Travel Goddess says she'll say no for you. She will say no. I'm a boundary ninja. I'm gonna walk you over to where the no is and point at it so you can see it, and then just look at you. Hi. Yeah. Remember last time when we talked about, and I said I wasn't doing? Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Yes. If you can't say no, and there's some, I'm not people. Okay, so in this section, I am not speaking specifically to people who can say no. I'm speaking to those of you that can't say no. I can't teach you how to say no in this lesson because that's not what this is about. The ladies in the comments want you to start saying no. They do. They want you to start saying no. I can't teach you to say no. I can't teach you how to set boundaries. Therapy helps. You know I'm going to say it every time. Therapy can help you with that. If you can't say no, say yes to yourself first. Because if you don't, every free moment you have, someone will find a way to fill it with their needs, because you're not doing anything anyway. You're just chilling. And I say this as someone who has spent my time with family, helping family, seeing a need and saying, yes, I understand that this needs to be filled, and I can fill this need for 1 week. I'm going to come and smother your family with love and care and driving services and babysitting services for a week. And then I'm leaving. Okay, bye. Right? If you don't have that ability to say, yes, I'm in town for this week and then I'm gone, because you're still in town, if you're a retiree who is in town, say yes to yourself first. Otherwise, woo, put on your oxygen mask. This is why you're taking a break. It's why you're taking a break. It's why you're retired. If you are retiring anytime after 2020, I know you have had a hard life, right? We're not like these millennials and these zennials who are like younger millennials. I'll say I'm pretty close to I'm Generation X. I'm close to a millennial. But half of them are like, the job tells them something they don't like and they're out of there. If you're already retired, that was not you. You were sticking around at jobs you hated your whole life. Because why would you leave a job that's still paying you? Why? Why? Yes, elder millennials, I ain't talking to you. I said it. It's the baby millennials and them zennials who are like, I don't like this. I'm leaving. And I'm very proud of them for that. I'm very, very proud of them for that, because it's something that we should have been doing a long time ago and we haven't been doing. Mm-mm. All right, so not before 10. So it took her 3 months to begin to rid my mind and body from office worker B mode. Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while. If you like, and it takes, what I would say is that you're going to be surprised at how long it takes you before you wake up one day and you're like, oh yeah, what was work? Like, work isn't in my body anymore. For work to not be in your body anymore takes much longer than you think. It's not just I quit one day and I'm free the next. You might feel free the next, and then your shoulders gonna start hunching forward again in a couple of days. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. All right. Next on the list, we said fill up your plate with things you want to do after you rest first. While you're resting, see what comes to you. What do you want to do? When you start doing stuff again, what is it that you want to do? Right? You want to learn how to sword fight? Defense? Girl, find you a fencing class. Hit that Google. It's on Google, right? Like, anything you want to do in this world is on Google. Listen, I'm gonna Google right now fencing near me, and let me tell you how close the nearest fencing lessons are. I've never looked this up before because I haven't been interested in it, but I just know in my bones. Oh, they actually sent me fences. Okay, fencing sport near me. I see why that was one of the options in the search. Okay. British fencing. No. Maybe that's a type of... I think I found a place. Let me see. Oh, clubs. Oh, it's taking a while to open. Any hoodle. That's not the point. The real point is anything you want to do, you can just pop your way into Google. Oh, Mira, if you're 46, you are Gen X. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, Pisces Pret wants to try archery. Boom. When I was in tiny Vancouver Island, we went to the fair and there were lots of animals. The county fair, there were lots of animals. There was lots of art. There was lots of food. The lines were too long. But there was an archery club. And now I told the bestie I went with my goddaughter, like, she took a mini lesson. She was really good at it. Archery club right there. It's not far. Sarah would enjoy learning to fence. Amina wants to take Tai Chi classes. Yes. If there are things you want to do, when are you, like, things you want to experience, when are you going to experience them? If not now, if not on your break, not in your retirement, when are you going to do them? Okay. Next on the list. This isn't going to apply to all of you. It's going to apply to some of you. You can remix this however you want to. I do not make a good mix. Could not beatbox, obviously. All right. Third on the list is visit elderly relatives. Have them tell you your stories. Visit the elderly relatives in your life that you love and cherish. Now, if you don't love and cherish, listen, you're never going to catch me telling you to spend time with people you don't like. So I'm only talking about the relatives you actually do like. Those other ones, those aren't your business. I took my career break I left in May. I left the Bay Area. Left the US in July. So my plan was to go straight from the Bay Area and leave the US completely. And then I was like, oh, I should go, like, say goodbye to, like, my bestie in Canada. So I'm not going to see her for a year. Say goodbye to my dad and my mom. My dad was in LA. My mom was in Florida. Like, go say goodbye to them before I leave. Whatever. And then go. And I went to my friend's birthday party. I left in June, July. Might have been end of June. What are dates? What is time? It was a while ago. I left. I left. I want to say in July for Mexico, and my dad passed away in like August or September. How dare you? How dare you be so selfish that I am trying to make my trip around the world without coming back to the US, and I'm not gone like 6 weeks before you decide your time is up. I'm knocking on death's door. I got hospice calling me. You were. And when I say I have hospice calling me, I mean he wasn't in hospice. He wasn't in hospice. And then all of a sudden hospice is calling me. And I was like, who are you? And why are you on my phone? Don't play on my phone. Take the time. Monica says, what if you are an elderly relative? See who wants to see you and go on tour. You already said you're going to see your grandkids. Go see your grandkids. Right? Goshan, he was sick for a long time. It's like I knew it was coming. I just didn't expect it to be like right then. Yes, Michelle says, death is totally inconvenient. Yes. Why would you? Thoughtless. Who asked for this? Now I gotta come back? Your funeral? Rude. Oof. All right, so spend time with people that you might not be able to spend time with 10 years from now. You've got the time, right? And maybe you're not able to do it in person. Maybe this is getting them a tech relative so they can get on Zoom if they're not already on it, right? Get them what they need so that they can have those calls with you. They can get on, they can do video calls. So you can talk to them so you can get the stories. So you can teach your grandkids all the things their parents won't teach them, which is your duty as a grandparent to teach them the things like, I don't know, how to pick a lock or whatever. You know how to pick a lock with a credit card. So go ahead and teach your grandkid that. Exquisite Coil says, I love talking with the elderly that I liked. Right? Like, let's be clear. I am not sending you into the lion's den. If you don't like them people, you ain't got to pretend. Not around here. They gave me the best life advice that led me to moving abroad. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Whatever it is, but your children aren't teaching your grandchildren, teach them that. How to make a great cocktail for Granny. Like if you're there in person, let them know what ratio of rum you like in your Coke. Useful things. Teach them. Teresa Bolden Williams says, planning to travel with my elderly neighbor to Colombia next year. She's retiring and showing me how to retire younger. I love that. I love that. Yes. Oh, Maya's going to visit her Aunt Flo for real in Wisconsin after the winter. Yeah, go and listen to their stories because none of us have forever. It could be them. It could be you. It could be time. It could be another lockdown. We don't have forever. So take the time. Yes, teach the babies to make martinis. Do something. Give them some money. Do something, right? Like, gave me Couture's Uncle Bill taught her self-defense. Yes. Teach them kids something that their parents aren't going to teach them. Go with your elder relatives, learn the stories. Like this is like use your time. This is what I'm saying. This is about maximizing the time that you have on your sabbatical. And I'm also throwing in those first few years of retirement, right? Stay active, do some things, get a hobby. right? What are you physically able to do that you enjoy? Instead of just being like, oh, nothing, oh, nothing, oh, nothing. Life skills from the oldies but goodies. All right. Leslie Williams says save a lot picking for Patreon. Listen, y'all know how to do that. I know you. I know at least half of you can pick a lock with a credit card, especially on them double doors. Not that I know anything about it, but all right. Number 4 on the list is go somewhere you've always wanted to go. Go somewhere you've always wanted to go. Where have you always wanted to, what has always been on your bucket list? What's been always been when I have the time and the money list? You're never going to have more time. There might be a time when you have more money, but will you have the time, right? Your career break, it sounds crazy because when you're not working, a lot of people feel like poverty is like waiting for them around the corner. Like they're walking down a dark alley and poverty's hiding behind the dumpster to jump out and get them. Like that's how people respond a lot of time to career breaks or retirement. That like one, right? Like if they're not looking every time, holding the money tight, not spending it, then poverty's gonna get them. And I'm like, that's not like not working for a lot of us or taking a break in work isn't the end, isn't like a cause of financial ruin, right? It isn't a cause of financial ruin. There's time for you to go do other stuff, right? So, right? Go somewhere you've always wanted to go. Go somewhere where you're like, I've always wanted to make this trip, but I can't. It never felt possible, right? Like I told a story here before about how when I was on my career break, I was in Asia. So I was looking for like places to go for the weekend. I was looking for like cheaper flights and I found something to Malaysia. And then I was in Malaysia. And when I was in Malaysia, I was like, when I landed in Kuala Lumpur and I was on the train to get close from I was being cheap with my money. So I think I took the train to like a station that was close to my hotel. And I might have took a taxi from this train station. Anyway, I don't remember what I was doing, but it was something to save money. And as I was there, I was like, oh, as I landed, I was getting on the train. I was like, I'm in Kuala Lumpur. The Petronas Towers are in Kuala Lumpur. When I watched that movie, which I'm not going to remember the name of right now, with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Hopkins? Who was that? Entrapment. I think it was Hopkins. Let's see what Google tells me. Yes, it's Hopkins, Anthony Hopkins and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Anywho, when I watched that movie, I was like, oh, those would be so great to see. But I'll never get to see them. They're on the other side of the world. And then I was in the same city they were in. And I didn't even realize at the time that like, I never thought this would happen in my lifetime. And I'm down the street from them. Yes, I've been saying Hopkins and it's Connery. I looked at his face and I still said Hopkins and it's Connery. And I know what Connery looks like and I still said Hopkins. Maybe blame it on the flu. I know what Connery, and in my brain, I thought, oh yeah, I don't even really like that man because he said some things I don't really like. But Anthony Hopkins in my mind has not said things I don't like. I saw Sean Connery's face and my ick level rose. My ick level rose when I saw him and I still said Hopkins. But I don't get the ick from Hopkins. I only get it from Connery. Any hoodle. Thank you guys. Yeah, I never thought I'd be there, and there I am. Now, I wasn't breaking into places and dancing through laser beams, but I was still there. I still saw the tower. I still have photos in front of them. Oh, that was supposed to be Angela Bassett in that movie, not Catherine Zeta-Jones? That would have been an interesting movie. I mean, it was still interesting with Catherine. Whew. Yeah, I never thought I would see them, and then I did because I went places, right? Oh, we got multiple people with the same name. Okay, go somewhere you've always wanted to go. Next on the list, and you can do this during your rest period. If you take some time to rest before you leave your city, whatever city you're in right now. Oh, before I get to there, Dawn said she had that experience on the Bridge of Angels in Rome. Yeah, that idea of it like, oh, I will never see this in my life. And now all of a sudden you're here like, wait, what? Okay. All right. Cool. Do something in your city that you've always wanted to do, but you never have. For a lot of us, whatever city we're living in has a bunch of like tourist places that we've never been to. I have lived in the Bay Area twice, a total of 7 years. I've never been to Alcatraz. Right? Like there are a lot of tourist places that like you always feel like, oh, I'll go there later on. I'll go there in the future. There's always time. Go do something in the city you live in right now that you haven't done, that you'd like to do before you go. Right? Go somewhere you always wanted to go. Number 4. Number 5 is do something in the city you've always wanted to do, but you've put off. What's the thing? Oh, guys, tell me. What's the thing you've always wanted to do in your city? What's your city? And what's the thing you've always wanted to do that you have never done? I love boat rides. On the bay, I love boat rides. Now, they don't always love me, but a boat ride in the bay, sign me up. But I never done it. So what's the thing that you've always wanted to do in your city? Tell me what your city is in the comments and tell me what you've always wanted to do but you've never done. I'm not seeing them. Come on. Oh, Igami says she's never been to Coney Island. I haven't either. There's a long, bitter story about my mother and the other child of hers on Coney Island. They went, I didn't go. We want to talk about my trauma today. Dawn says in Richmond, Virginia, there are wine country tours she wants to take. Lavonda Hargrove says Zephyr Hills, Florida. What do you want to do in Zephyr Hills, Florida, or around Zephyr Hills, Florida, that everyone does, but you've never done? Okay, Yami Couture Crochet says, Greensboro, North Carolina has a vibrant local theater scene. I want to audition for a role and get a part before I blow this pop stand. Yes. Pick a place. Okay, Lavonda says skydive, Zephyr Hills. Yes. Do it. What is the thing in the city you live in that other people come to do and you've never done? Okay, Amina says there's a moving park on the river in Chicago, but I'm going to before it gets cold. Isn't it already cold, Amina? It's Chicago. It's November. I know that y'all have a different idea of what cold is, but Sassy Travel Goddess is in the Seattle and hasn't been to the Space Needle. I've been to the Space Needle. I have. But I was a tourist. And that's what tourists do. Tourists come to your cities and do the tourist things. And okay, so I know a lot of people are like, when they travel, they're the kind of people. I know there are a lot of people, I'm not saying you guys, but there are a lot of people who are like, I'm not going to do the touristy things when I travel. The touristy things are touristy things because they're cool. A lot of times, the things that people act like they're too good to do because they're touristy are actually fun things to do. And that's why people do them. Not all of them, right? Like me personally, I don't want to wait in line for hours for a photo anywhere. So if that's the touristy thing, I ain't got it. Because you know why? I'm going to get hungry. And now what do we do when I'm hungry in this line and I want to punch somebody? Jail? No. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. So I'm not waiting in line for hours for a photo. If that's the touristy thing, I ain't got it. Right? But like there are a lot of touristy attractions that we skip out on because it can feel like, oh, everybody does that. It can't be that cool. The touristy things are often pretty fun. Okay, Joy's in Houston and can't think of a thing. Coney Island is not what it once was. Monica Adelina is climbing to the Big M in Marina Valley. I've climbed Mount Rubidoux, but I haven't climbed to the Big M in Marina Valley. Tracy is in Philadelphia and she wants to go see the Liberty Bell and go ice skating at City Hall. I don't think I saw the Liberty Bell when I was in Philadelphia. I can't remember. Oh, Love by Ya says Colorado Springs, hike a 14,000 foot, I guess, mountain and go to Royal Gorge train rides through the mountains. That sounds fun. Cherie wants to take an architecture tour in Chicago. I did one down the river. They pointed out the architecture. I'm not sure I learned anything. Exquisite Coil says, I've done everything I wanted to do in Seattle. I want to visit Victoria, BC. I'll be there next November. It'll be freezing and I'll be unhappy, but I'll be there. Yay. Yay. All right. Oh. Polo matches at the wine vineyards. I'm guessing this is Richmond, Virginia, because you're speaking to Dawn. All right. Okay, so Mira, you mentioned beef ribs, and I don't know why you would do that because I'm hungry already. And like, you know what happens when I get, like, when my brain acknowledges hungry, this video has to end. Don't talk about food here, y'all. We got to have that rule. We don't talk about food in these videos because if you do, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to get hungry and I'm going to end the video, or you're going to have to watch me eat on camera. And I do have ribs in the fridge. Baby backs. All right. Yami Couture Crochet wants to go to Prince Edward Island because she's listening to Anne of Green Gables. I want to go to Banff. I go to Canada all the time, and it doesn't feel touristy anymore. I go to Vancouver Island. It doesn't feel touristy anymore, but I don't go to the rest of Canada. So I want to do that. All right. Next. Sony says nothing in Columbus. There's got to be something in Columbus. Okay, so if you're talking Columbus, Ohio, I feel like we could brainstorm this. Whatever things to maybe nothing in Columbus, but there are things in like Cincinnati, like the Freedom Museum in Cincinnati is worth a drive if you haven't been there. Oh. Poetry says, I'm in Atlanta climbing all the way up Stone Mountain. I tried once and hurt my calf muscle pretty bad. Since my knee surgery, I have been looking at ways that I can like push myself without like super pushing myself. And a couple days ago, I saw two people talking about how they both climbed Table Mountain in Cape Town. And since we're going to be in Cape Town in February, I was like, what if I climb Table Mountain? Like, I know there's a cable car that will take you all the way to the top. But what if I climbed it? Now, both those people were like, I wanted to cry when I got to the top. Or they cried multiple times along the way on the way up. And crying doesn't sound like fun now. I don't want a physical activity that makes me cry. But what if I climb Table Mountain? All right, if you're going with us to Cape Town in February and you want to climb Table Mountain, let me know. I'm probably not going to do it, y'all. I will bring a knee brace, Maruka, but the brace doesn't really, it's not that kind of injury. It's just, it doesn't love that kind of stuff. Okay, so Teresa Bolden Williams is doing the Camino de Santiago in her break. I love that. Valerina says some friends climbed Lionhead and that did not look like fun. Y'all are truly very, very helpful people, but you don't understand when I don't want help. Like High Vibe says, you can start training for the climb. And that is excellent advice. And I'm not even saying that I wasn't asking for advice. Advice in this situation is fine. But you know I'm not going to train for a climb. Like, you know I'm not going to do that. Come on now. It's excellent advice, and I should do it. But will I? Now you know. I'm going to get halfway up and be like, time to go back to the bottom. Or because I'm stubborn, get to the top and then not walk again for like 3 days. Train? That sounds so like reasonable and well thought out. What about that? Sounds like something I would do. Y'all are silly. Silly, silly, silly people. Okay, so you're going to do the things that you've always wanted to do, but have put off. If there's something you've always wanted to do, like Camino de Santiago, you're going to schedule that into your break. You're going to do the things in your city you want to do before you leave your city, and you're going to do the things you want to do around the world if you're traveling around your world, when you start traveling, whatever it is you're doing. But this video is mostly geared for someone who might stay in place. So like retirees, career breakers who aren't leaving. But like I said, you can tweak it. You can tweak it for people who are going around the world. Do whatever you want. That's why the line "go somewhere you've always wanted to go" was in there. Go somewhere you've always wanted to go. If your break is at home, if you are retiring in the same place you live right now, do things in the city you've always wanted to do, schedule them. When I moved back to the Bay Area, I worked 1 block away from my favorite museum in the world. And I went to that office for a year and a half and never went that block away to the museum. Why? Well, because when I was at work, I wasn't feeling very museum-y. And I wasn't going to come into the same BART station on the weekends. I wasn't doing that. Now, could I have taken off afternoon and gone? Yes, because I took off afternoons for happy hour all the time. So when then people started stressing me out, I look at my homeboy who I worked with, and for a while he worked for me, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, can you wrap up what you're doing by 1 or like by 2?" And he'd be like, "Mm-hmm." And I'd be like, "Okay, well, we'll be leaving," and we just go because I spent all morning trying not to stab somebody, and I'm running out. I'm running out of what it takes not to get stabby. So we got to go move to where the drinks are. But we never moved to where the museum was. It was one of my favorite, if not my favorite. It's the Asian Art Museum. San Francisco I love that museum. I went to an exhibit there one time and fell in love and was like, I want to be here forever. And then I've never been back in my entire life, even though I worked 8 blocks away from it. Don't be like, do the things in your city before you leave your city again. Do it. All right. Next on the list, take some time to think about the life you want to live. I'm going to say it again. Take some time to think about the life you actually want to live. What is it that you want to do? What if you could take out a piece of paper, and you can, and you could take out a writing utensil, and I'm pretty sure you can, and you had to write down, if you had to like cross off everything in your life right now, give you a blank slate, what are you taking from your current life and writing on the blank page? And what is not in your current life that you're going to add on to the blank page? What, like, right? Like, whatever things you have in your life right now that you would transfer over to a brand new life if you had that control. And whatever things that aren't in your life right now that you would add on. And whatever things that you say, these things definitely cannot be in my life. Have a little corner on the bottom and be like, these things definitely cannot be in my life. Definitely cannot be in my life. Men who stress me out. People who stress me out, but like, I feel like for so long we've been told that in romantic relationships, we, like, of course you're going to be like unhappy for like a lot of it, because that's what it's like when you deal with somebody else. And I'm not saying that's not true. I'm saying I am not inviting that into my life, right? So like definitely not welcome in my life. Relationships with anyone where like being with them creates regular tension in my life. If being with a partner, a romantic partner, creates long periods of stress or like constant stress, it's not, I can't, I won't. No. I just don't want that. Men who stress me out? In the old days, I would have been like, okay, so like, how do we work through this issue? And like, yes, there's a good chance you're a psychopath, but just in case you're not, let's talk about it. I was dating a guy once, and my friend asked me how it was going, and I was like, it's good. It's good. Because what does good mean? What does good mean? And I said, and it's gonna be fine until he hits me. And she was like, that's not funny. I was like, oh, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Because like there's nothing I can point to now that is what we as a society call a deal breaker. But that man's gonna hit me one day. I know it. So after we ended, whatever, he told me that his biggest fear in life was being like his dad. And I, straight face, I was like, oh, what did your dad do? He hit my mom. And I was like, oh, didn't see that coming at all. Shocked. I wanted to be like, you're closer to that than you think, buddy. The stench is already coming off of you. The stench is already just woof, coming out. I smell it. I know it's coming. So yes, so this was totally personal, big segue, but yeah, I have a list of things I'm like aren't welcome in my life. Men who stress me out. Ew. Genesis says she's too lazy to be in a relationship. I'm not mad at that. Like, know thyself, right? Like, know who you are. Does it come in green? Just ended a friendship because the woman stressed her out too much? Yes. Yes. Know what you want in your life. Think about what you want your life to be, right? Think about what you want your life to be. And then think about what you want to take into that future, because this is your future life, right? Like, decide what you want your future life to be. If you get to control everything, think about what you want to take into your future life. Think about what you want to leave behind. Think about what you want to add to your future life. And think about what are things that may not be in your life right now, but will never be allowed in your life in the future. Let it go. Let it go. Think, like, decide. Take some time to think about what you actually want your life to be instead of bringing things with you that don't belong on this journey. We talked in the beginning of this about releasing some of the baggage, right? Like, putting down the burdens we've been carrying for other people and putting down the burdens we've been carrying for ourselves. Right? I'm so sorry. I laughed at this because I have been in that boat too. Oh, this is a game for you. You think this is a game? I'm only going to talk so much. I'm only going to talk so much. And then either I'm going to go missing and you're never going to see me again, or this is going to come to a head. And I don't want it to come to a head because I don't look good in jail. I know this already. So stop it. Like, I'm begging you, stop it. Not worth. Okay, so I think this is a great point Teresa brings up. It's not worth being with someone who's working on not being someone toxic. Too much work. Imagine if they're not even working on not being toxic. They're just hoping. They're just hoping to not be toxic as opposed to actually working. Because where's the therapy? Where's the changed behavior? Someone who's working on being someone, not being someone toxic is someone I like. I need you to already not be toxic. Show up non-toxic, please. Non-toxic only. Don't be working on not being toxic. But if you're not even working, you're just hoping. And how many of us, child, this is not what we're talking about today, but how many of us who have been in relationships with people who know that they are toxic and they're just hoping for change? They just think this time it's going to be different. What is we talking about? What are we talking? What? I feel like I should start writing names now. I'm like typing their names in right now, but I'm not going to do that because I am a lady. Whew. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. If they're just hoping to not be toxic, hope is not enough. We've all, listen, it looks good on paper, or we've already invested this much time, or there's not a lot of good ones out there. For whatever reasons, we do it. We've all fallen for it. JG says that child is still toxic. I get it. I get it. Mm-mm. 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 Okay, but let me not get riled up. Let me bring it back down. Because there are non-toxic ones out there. I don't know where, but they're out there. I believe that. I believe that. And toxic for you doesn't mean it's toxic for me and the other way around. But the toxic ones are just toxic. Let me not lie. The ones who are a good fit for you might not be a good fit for me, et cetera, et cetera. But the toxic ones, maybe we know. Woo! Okay. Take some time to think about the life you actually want and what are those things that are not allowed in your life no matter what. I will buy a lifetime supply of AA batteries before I deal with a man who is stressing me out on the regular. You can mess up once or twice, but like regularly, no. Shan't, won't, can't. No, thank you. Mm-mm. This was fun, but I won't. Teresa says, I don't want to hear the words, I'm trying. Because what are you trying? To kill me? Like, what are you trying? Woo! All right. Now, take some time to think about the life you want. And y'all heard me say it. Imagine you can get a piece of paper. You can. Imagine you can get a pen. You can. You don't have to wait for your career break to do this. Do this today. Get a piece of paper now. Get something to write down now and write down the things you want to keep in your life from your current life and the things you're like, I don't want to drag this forward anymore, right? I don't want to drag it forward anymore. No, thank you. No, thank you. Mm-mm. All right. Next on the list. This is for my career breakers and not so much for my retirees. But I'm going to say, retirees, you don't have to plug your ears. You can listen to this, but you know your life better than anybody else knows your life. This is number 7 on the list. Decide if you want to work again. Career breakers. Some of you are going to be in a position, not all of you, some of you are going to be in a position where you don't actually have to go back to work. I saw a question earlier, boom, 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 from Brie Alexander. Is it better to just move to a lower cost country to be able to take a break? Now, better? I don't know. Because I don't know what, for you specifically, Brie, I don't know what resources you have at home versus what resources you will have in another country. So if you live with someone who live with your parent or someone who doesn't make you pay rent, like it wouldn't make sense to me to move to a lower cost of living country. But this is an option that opens up a lot of pathways for some people, right? A lot of people will take a career break and then they end up in Thailand and they're like, I can buy a whole roasted chicken for 20 cents? Wait a minute now. My nice apartment costs like $400? Wait, what's going on? Right? And so sometimes moving to a lower cost of living country can be the difference between I can take a 1-year break to, I probably don't have to go back to work for like 20 years. And if any kind of Social Security comes through, I'm never going back to work, right? Do you want to work again? Right? If you want to work again, what kind of work do you want to work again? I don't want you thinking about this in the beginning. I want you thinking about this at the end. Not the end. I want you thinking about this later on in your break. I don't want you thinking about this in the very beginning. Because if you're thinking about work, you're not going to be focused on your fencing lessons, right? If you're thinking about work, what about the soap carving you were doing? Right? Like you're going to be stressed about work. Genesis says, I know I don't want to work again. Listen, some of y'all already made up your mind. Right? Think about whether you actually want to work again. I left on my career break thinking I'm going to take a break for a year and then I'm going to go back to lawyering for another auto manufacturer and an auto finance company arm of an auto manufacturer. I'll be either in like Texas with, Toyota or something, or I'll go somewhere, maybe Detroit. So I don't want to be in Texas or Detroit, but that's where the people who valued my skill set were. I'll do this for a year and I'll, call up the homies and be like, let me know when y'all hiring. Since there are like 15 people in the country who can do this work. When they leave, they got to go see it, right? Like and I'm very flexible about where I work, where I live. So let me know. That was the plan. And I was like I would say about like 6 weeks into my break, my body was like getting acclimated to not having 40 years of stress in my shoulders. And then by 6 months in of like waking up when I wanted to, waking up every morning and being like, what shall I do today? Shall I go to that museum I wanted to go to? Or shall I continue binging You on Netflix? What's it gonna be? Right? After 6 months of that, I was like clocking into some. I have a friend who's a big wig at Facebook, and he was like, he would keep sending me jobs to like come work for him. And I was like, oh, I love you very much. No, I shan't be doing that. And I know you're sending these to me because you care. And because the idea of me, someone who you know from law school, so like I have a skill set. I have bills. You want me to land well, but like you're also going to want me to show up and do work. And that's just not what I have on my to-do list today. I'm trying to find some food and see where the fine men are in this city. Where y'all at? Oh, I don't speak the language, so you can't stress me out. Where y'all at? Clocking in? No. No. I knew I didn't want to work for an employer again by 6 months. By the end of 12 months, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I just knew that I could not go back to my old life. And I had started Black women started reaching out to me. That's how this whole business started. Black women started reaching out to me about taking career breaks of their own. And so I was answering questions for people and helping them along the way. And I realized that if I could do it for free, I could do it for money. And that's how I started doing this. And that takes us to number 8. If you want to go back to work, it's time to decide what work you want to do. Not in the beginning of your break, because you need to rest. When I say like that first, at least 2 weeks to a month, don't do anything but sleep. I really, really mean it. Then pick up a hobby. Talk to your family. Pretend you love them. Do all the things. Go somewhere. Do all these things are listed in an order for a reason. What work do you want to do? I love what I do. It's weird because I thought I retired, and then this is something that other people debated greatly about my life for a while. It's because I was like, oh yeah, I'm retired. I was a career break, and then after my career break, I was like, oh no, I'm retired. And then Exodus Summit happened. This is Stephanie. Yes, today we're gonna blame this on Stephanie. Stephanie dragged me out of retirement. I wasn't kicking or screaming because I didn't realize this was going to be like. We thought we were doing Exodus Summit one time. We were doing this one-time project. And then we tried not to do it the second, or we talked about not doing it the second year. And lovely, beautiful women in our community were like, go on ahead and start planning for next year. We were like, no, go ahead and clickety-clack over whatever you got to do and make it happen for next year. That was 2020. I took my career break in the middle of 2018. It ran through 2019. 2019, I started doing like career break coaching on my own, one-on-one mostly. And then I started from Burnout to Bliss, from burnouttobliss.co. You can join us today for group coaching. Is it super loud when I type? From burnouttobliss.co. And then 2020, like middle of the year, Stephanie was like, let's do a summit. Okay. And my life has changed dramatically since then. So it wasn't like I went into my career break knowing what I would do after my break. I thought I knew what I would do. And then I realized that wasn't going to work for me. And then I still didn't really have like a good money plan, but I started doing the thing that like spoke to me, helping other women leave bad job situations and take their own career breaks spoke to me. And so I did it. And then I do it now, but I always tell people like I do it on my terms. And I want everyone to really think about this. When I talk about building your own business, when you think about what work you want to do, and a lot of people, I'm not saying don't go back to work. If you want to listen, y'all saw, did you see Kira, Designing Ease on Instagram, talk about after going to the summit, she got she's getting paid 6 figures for 6 months of work. And then she gets to take 6 months off. Or maybe more than 6 months off. Maybe a year. Who knows how long that money's going to last for. Because she's not in the US. She's in Mexico. And 6 figures, US dollars, can last a long time in Mexico. So, right? Like, I'm not saying don't go back to working for someone else. I'm saying I couldn't do it. You want me to I got to talk to people I don't want to talk to? No. But I designed a job, a career, a life. I designed around the things, how I want to live my life. Outside of Exodus Summit season, it truly is a season. And Exodus Summits controls my life for about 3 months out of the year. Where I am in the world, what my life looks like, what I can do and what I can't do is absolutely controlled by Exodus Summit about 2 or 3 months 2 real months out of the year. I would say like July and September, I'm in like that first half of October. July, I'm in like the second half of September, first half of October, controlled completely. August, there's a little less going on. The rest of the year, I can kind of do whatever I want, whenever I want, because I the times where I actually have to be somewhere or have to do something are significantly lower than what it was when I worked for other people. I have committed 2 hours a month to group coaching. 2. 2 hours a month to group coaching. There's other work, right? Like I said, no matter what you do, if you have a business, there's going to be things that you don't want to do. I got to do admin. There's marketing. But if I don't do it, it just means if I don't do any marketing, it just means I don't sell anything, right? I don't actually have to do it unless I want more business, which, always great, whatever. But if I don't show up here, you guys won't love me any less. Like last week when I was like, I can't do it. Saturday, I was throwing up on a flight. I wasn't coming on live on Sunday. I just wasn't. It wasn't going to happen. Hey, Flu. Nice to see you. You guys are okay, right? Like I don't have to. I do these lives every week because I like talking to you guys, but I don't have to, right? I've built a life around the life I love. I can do the work I want to do from anywhere in the world. Joanna, who is the leader of team contract work from anywhere. Well, she's in a hospital. Team contract work for seasons, right? Work 3 months, take 3 months off. Joanna told me that in group. Joanna's a group from Route to Bliss member. And when she first said that, but she was going to do that, I was like, her plan was to, I think her initial plan was to either work for 6 months or work for a year and take a year off. I can't remember. When she first said that, I was like, wait, okay, so Joanna's a doctor, but there's not like a special doctor track that allows you to do this. She's doing this as a contract employee, as a contractor. So if Joanna can do this as a contractor, you can do that as a contractor, right? Work for 3 months, take 3 months off. Work for 6 months, take 6 months off. And if your contract is remote, work from anywhere, even better. You've got this, right? Like if you want to go back to work, how can you design work that isn't going to make you want to take a career break in like 2 months? How? What is the thing that's right for you? What is the thing you've already written down on your piece of paper? What you want your life to look like, what you're bringing in, what you're leaving behind, what you're adding, and what you're definitely saying not never to. It's not coming in. How do you fit if you want to work again, or you think that's probably where life will lead you? What's the work you want to do? Let's talk about it with Mars. I've never thought about contract work. I've seen them, but interesting. Yeah. I think a lot of contract work seems like, wait, one of the things I felt was like, wait, there's no certainty. There's no like guaranteed employment. Like we're guaranteed employment in any other job. As someone who's been laid off twice, I know once because the company went out of business. I know, but there's no guaranteed employment anywhere. These people can fire you just because they want, right? Just because. Most of us are at-will employees and can get fired at any point. So no, there's no guarantee in contract work, but where is the guarantee? Show it to me on paper. It's funny. Segue. Someone I talked to was going to the U.S. Embassy in Boston to get to get their residency. And the U.S. Embassy in Boston was like, cool, you can work remote. we need a letter from your employer saying that you can work remotely from Mexico and that you're guaranteed to have your job for the length of your residency. Now, I've never heard of that requirement anywhere else. I haven't heard of that requirement from Boston ever since. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes people just in those embassies just be saying stuff. In the consulates, they just be saying stuff sometimes. There's no guarantee you'll ever come across that before. Like I said, I've never heard that from anywhere else ever again. But when that happened, I was like, these are people who work in the US. They are standing in America right now. They completely understand that no American employee is ever going to write a letter saying you are guaranteed to have this job. You are trying to tell her no without telling her no. You are trying to tell this girl no without telling her, because you know there's absolutely no, like, your mama might write you that letter if you work for her, but she also might not, right? Like, she also might not. Most employers, I would say like at least 99.5 of most 99.9% of employer-employee relationships in the US right now, there's absolutely no chance the employer will write a letter saying this person is guaranteed to have this job for the next year. And you live in America. You're here in a consulate. You live in America. You know that. You know there's no one showing up with this letter. No one. If this is the letter you are currently asking for, no one is showing up with it. So you're just trying to tell you, like, this is your little ace in the hole to tell people no. Fortunately, you can consulate shop and go somewhere else where they won't ask for something like that. And like I said, that was like 2 years ago I heard about that from her. So I haven't heard about it from anybody else. Nobody freak out about this. But yeah, that's not a thing we do in America. There's no guaranteed employment. So yes, get that contract work. Get that contract work. All right. What work do you want to do? Was number 8. Figure out what work you want to do. Right? What do you want to do? If you have to work? And I always ask people when they're like in coaching, when we talk about going back to work, I always ask the question, like, do you financially, like, do you have to go back to work? Because we're not used to asking that question, right? We're not used to, it's kind of assumed that you're always going to have a job, because if you don't have a job, how are you contributing to society? I was born. You're welcome. Right? Because a job doesn't contribute to society. A job contributes to billionaires. Like, let's be really, really real. These jobs are contributing to billionaires who are hoarding wealth. They're not contributing to society most of the time. Some of y'all are doing work with the babies and things, and it is a beautiful thing. But most of us are just making rich people richer, and they're hoarding wealth. I tapped out. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. No, thank you. Queen P says hotels are always looking for HR, accounting, management, and sales contractors. Okay. Good to know. She just contract work in hotels. Y'all see this? All right. What do you want? What work do you want to do? And when I say that, I really mean get granular with it. Figure out what it is you want to do and the things that you want to spend your time. Do you want to talk to other people? Like, if you get a job that requires like daily meetings, are you going to be like, this ain't it for me? Like, even if it's a remote job, right? Are you going to be like, why am I here all the time? Why? Right? So like, whatever things that you can do, to create a work condition that you want. Even if you're working for someone else, how can you finesse this to be the conditions that you want, that don't make you feel bad about work, that don't make you feel like you're going to need another break in 2 months? But number 9 on my list, and my next question is, when is your next break? Is it retirement? Is it before then? Like, I don't want you to leave your break without a plan for the next break. Here's the thing. You're going to be on a break. And you're going to be thinking, I don't ever want to go back to work again. But maybe you are going to have to take a break at some point, right? Maybe you're going to have to take a break at some point. And so what are you going to do when you need a break, right? What are you going to do when you need a break if you're going to go back to work? When is your next break? If you're going to go back to work, think about when your next break is. If you're retired, hey, retirees, you don't have to do that. When is your next break? Before you leave this break, think about when your next break is and start planning for it. Is it in 3 years? Right? Now, we can't guarantee that the world's still going to be spinning in 3 years. So what I'm saying is, make a plan for what seems reasonable and doable for you right now. So like, how much money can you get saved up in 3 years? Is that enough to cover you for 6 months or a year of a break? Is enough to cover you for 3 months of a break? And maybe money isn't the deciding factor. Maybe it's how stressed you know you're going to be after 2 years, right? Maybe it's like, no matter how much money I have, I'm going to have to take a break at 2 years, because what is this? Because this is not it for me, right? I'm going back to work, but I already know I'm going to do these 2 years, and no matter how much money I have at the time is the amount of money I'm going to have, is the amount of money I'm going to have for my break. Doesn't matter, right? Like, you have to decide what you're going to do. You have to decide how you're going to plan your break. I took my break, my 39th birthday. That's when I took my break. I left the day after I turned 39. A year later, my break was supposed to be for a year. A year later, on my Google Calendar, I saw what I put in there: stop working at this corporate job, on my calendar on my 40th birthday. Put it in your calendar. Y'all talking about the hospitality jackpot in the comments? All right now. Oh, I'm gonna highlight this. Apparently, Strategic Solutions Partners is the hospitality jackpot. It's where Queen P gets most of her work. Don't ask me nothing about them, y'all. I don't know about them. But Queen P gets her work there. Rhonda says it looks like there are jobs there. Rhonda's looking right now. All right. If you're going to go back to work, when is your next break? When is it? And how are you going to decide? Like, make a plan to decide when it is. Is it when I hit X amount of money saved? If it is, what's your savings goal? Is it when I hit this amount of time, right? Because time is a weird thing, right? When you get back into that workforce and you're dealing with people who are conditioned the way we have been conditioned in the past, at some point you're going to say, yeah, like, I know I said 3 years, but I want to finish this project. I hear this from clients all the time. I want to finish this project. I don't agree with that unless you need that project on your resume for a future job, but that's just me. But I also hear a good one is I'm waiting till after I get my bonus, right? Like make sure you're planning around things like this. When are you going to get your bonus? Okay, wait. Y'all know I love to celebrate. Dawn got a new job with a substantial pay increase. If you have not watched Exodus Summit yet this year, I'm gonna write Exodus Summit in the comments. ExodusSummit.com. The sessions were October 6th through 9th. It is the beginning of November. Wait, that's not what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. It's the beginning of November. And Dawn has a new job with substantial pay increase. Wait, was this year or last year's summit, Dawn? Tell me. So I'm not putting too much on it. Is it this year's summit or last year's summit that helped you? Because both ladies spoke at both summits because we know that the information they bring is so valuable. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Yeah. This year. They spoke between October 6th and 9th. It is November 12th. And if I can do the math, October, then November. It's been just over 30 days. Wait. I'm making this clip so Francis can cut this out. Hi, y'all. Dawn attended Exodus Summit this year in October, early October 6th through 9th. This is super corny and I know it. And she already, on November 12th, has a new job. A new job with a substantial pay increase. Just over 30 days. She's at least the second person to tell us. And we know there's a lot of y'all we don't hear from. New job, pay increase. Kira told us, new job. She's getting paid 6 figures for 6 months of work. What is, y'all see this? Y'all see this? Do you see this? Okay. I was proud. Very proud of this. This year's summit. So we say this all the time. If you have not taken action, if you attended the summit and haven't taken action, it's time. If you attended the summit on the weekend pass and didn't take action, your time is actually over. So go on ahead and upgrade to the all access pass because baby, it works. It worked. This was her first summit. Yay. Yay. Woo. All right. First summit. How to use AI to get your remote job. ExodusSummit.com. Quit playing around. We bring speakers. I'm getting a little hype right now. We bring speakers because we know they will make a difference. We know they will make a difference in your life. And so, first summit. Yeah. Pathways to Wellness says this is our first summit as well. It's amazing. Yes. So this is not Exodus Summit ad. Y'all know that. But like I get hype. When you guys tell me, you don't tell me enough. Ooh, but when you tell me about the difference it makes in your life, this is what naturally happens. I am excited. I'm gonna have to go lay down after this because it's taking all my baby got the flu energy out of me. But I am so excited. We gonna win. I'm gonna drink out of the right side of the bottle, but we gonna win together. Okay, so you figure out what work you want to do. You got a higher paying job. Substantial pay increase. You decided when your next break is because you should not be at work. All of you watching right now. All of you watching right now should not be at work without an existing exit plan for this job. This is why I took my career break. I was applying for jobs and showing up to the interviews with such a shitty attitude. I was in an interview for Square. I didn't realize, it didn't dawn on me, I think, until I had the interview. It's in the same building I actually worked at when I worked at Uber. I'm at the interview for Square and I'm sitting there like, truly. Yep. I don't even want to be here. So why do you want me to prove to you why I should be here? You should be proving to me why I should come to you. And yes, my job is going away. I will not have a job in like 6 months. I still don't want to be here though. So you tell me why I should come. Oh no, you're not going to do that? Okay, well then we both gonna have attitudes. What? I couldn't do it. That's why I took my career break. I was showing up to job interviews like, this is terrible. I don't want to be here. What are y'all talking about? And you're not even nice? You think I should be jumping through hoops for you? Your hoops stink. So now what? So all that to say, you should not be in your job right now without your exit plan. What is your exit plan for this job? Your exit plan should not be a layoff. Your exit plan should not be the company going out of business. Your exit plan should not be when I get a better job. Unless you're actively looking for this job right now. And most of y'all aren't. Y'all not watching Liberty Section. Y'all not taking the tips that Teen gave at the summit. What is your exit plan for the job you have right now? If you do not love this job with your whole heart, I love my job with my whole heart. Now, every once in a while, I got to come on here and block some people in the comments because they're not acting right. But aside from that, I love this job. Love it. So if you don't love your job, what is your exit plan? I love this job, but I still kind of have an exit plan. We're not going to do Exodus Summit forever. We're not going to do Exodus Summit forever. I made a post in Exodus Summit yesterday in the Facebook group, and I asked people what they wanted to see from us in the next summit. And almost everything they said has already been talked about in a prior Exodus Summit or has been covered by Stephanie or I on our channels. Honestly, we've covered it all. We've covered it all. So we can keep rehashing the stuff we said before because not everyone has seen it all, right? But it's all out there. And so there's going to come a time when we're just going to be like, you want the answer? Go watch an old Exodus Summit. But we're not doing new ones. I don't know when that time is. That time is not 2024. Exodus Summit will happen in 2024. It will. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. But we gonna work it out. We gonna work it out. Francis noticed it too. All the topics were already covered. probably by people, and those people probably hadn't seen them, right? In the past summits. And that's okay. That's not on them. That's okay. But we're not going to do this forever, right? There is an exit plan. There's a formulated exit plan. And so what are we going to do? Right? What are we going to do when we have exit plans? Like, what are we going to, I have an exit plan. You should have an exit plan. You should have an exit plan for what you're going to do. If you're in a job, any job, even a job you love, there should be an exit plan. Mine for exit summit is a soft one. And it's basically, at some point, I'm going to say, nah. Right? Stephanie and I are going to look at each other and say, nah. We've already said, I don't know if this is public, but I'm going to say it anyway. Meetups aren't happening after South Africa. That's the last one. The way we do them right now, South Africa is the last one. We do not enjoy the work. It is not significantly, it's fun when we're in it. It's fun for ladies when we're in it, but we can have fun in different ways. There have to be other ways to be fun that are not ways where we lose money every time. And the work of getting to the thing is actually terrible. Planning South Africa has been actually terrible. Actually, planning Marrakesh in the moment was actually terrible. There's a lot of stuff you guys didn't see. It was terrible. Cancun was the only one where we were like, that was surprisingly easy. We're not going to do this again. Like, we already know this. After South Africa, And so what are we going to do? We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. After Exodus Summit, I don't know. I don't know what my next thing will be after Exodus Summit, but I know I can't do this forever. I'm not going to be doing Exodus Summit when I'm 80. I'm probably not going to be doing it when I'm 60. I'm going to be sitting on Stephanie's yacht when I'm 60. You know what I'm going to be doing? You know what I'm going to be doing on Stephanie's yacht? I'm going to be eating. The chef's going to be cooking down on Stephanie's yacht. And I'm going to be there. That's it. That's it. When I'm 60, I'm going to be eating. We're not doing this work, right? And I work for myself. And I still have a plan of like, I ain't doing this forever. So if you work for somebody else who can take your job away from you at any time, what is your exit plan? What's your exit plan? What is it? Have one. Have a plan that doesn't involve you leaving one job and desperately searching for another. You don't even want to work. Like, we put so much work. This is what, I hate. We put so much work into the job search and we don't even want these damn jobs. Like, what are we doing? We don't even want these jobs. And we are like, shucking and jiving to get them. We don't want them. What are we doing, right? Like, I always say, don't like start the job search the minute one job ends. If you have a job before you leave your last job, take some time off in between. You got this, right? So that was number 9 on the list. What is your next break? Number 10. Number 10 is going to be maybe a surprise, maybe not for some of y'all. Last thing on the list that I want y'all to do. These were in order. You could mix them around, but don't start figuring out what job you want to do before you rest or before you explore a hobby, right? Don't do that. Give yourself some time. Last thing on the list, number 10 on the list, should have been number 1 to me. And it was rest. Get back to resting. Baby, you forgot to rest. You forgot, listen, you started going out. My mama be in these streets all the time. She couldn't come to the rest session on Friday because as a retiree in Merida, Mexico, she had to be out and about, probably dancing, and probably something that was too high and too low. When is she resting? Go ahead and lay it down, lady. Lay it, rest. Add rest in as number 10. Rest as number 10. This is me looking for a job. Just disgusted. I don't want this job. What makes you think? Why would I want yours? I don't believe that the terrible people at this job aren't going to be at that job too. I can't. I just don't believe it. Rest. Rest again. Rest some more. Rest. Get your rest in. It really, like, truly, it makes such a huge difference. And we don't think it does because it's never prioritized in our lives. When we're told about all the things we have to prioritize, rest is never one of them, right? It's always like, oh, well, prioritize work, prioritize school, prioritize something else. But it's never prioritize yourself. It's never prioritize work. It's never prioritize rest. And so I want you guys to prioritize the rest you need in your life, because if you don't put yourself first, no one else will. No one else is going to put themselves first, put you first in their life and what you need to do. So rest. We're going to rest. We're going to rest. You know what I can't imagine is rest. Okay, so here's something I want to say. If you would spend your Sunday, because it's probably Sunday still in most parts of the world, if you would spend your Sunday attempting to troll someone on YouTube who does not even know you're alive and does not value you in any way, you're not resting enough. You're not. If you're switching between accounts or gathering new people to come troll with you, I gotta say, your life is probably pretty sad. And I just don't know why you would do that. Like, imagine how empty your life has to be that trolling on YouTube is what you choose for yourself. And your life doesn't have to, like, just because you're unhappy, because clearly you're unhappy. Up and down the comments, we saw the unhappiness. I mean, you're blocked, so we can't see you. But, and anyone watching the replay won't see them either. But they're probably going to show up in the comments after the fact. Whatever. You need to rest, beloved. This video is for you. Take a break, rest. Find something you love instead of focusing on things you hate. I truly I don't know that you're alive. I don't know what your name. I don't value you in any way. You trolling here does nothing to me, because look at all the women in the comments who love this, who love this work, who love what I'm talking about, who truly love me. If you think you coming in here and trying to get smart in the chat it doesn't do anything to me, it does something to you. Right? Like, it's eating away at your soul, and I'm about to go eat them baby back ribs and forget you're even alive. You need a nap, a rest, some love, a hug. Like, it really is bewildering to me that you would spend your time on this beautiful day doing that. You don't have enough in your life. Enough positivity. You got enough negativity, clearly. You got enough negativity in your life. And so, for beloveds, for all of you, the ones that know why they're here, who are here for a reason, you know who I am. I know who you are. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you. And thank you for creating a life that doesn't look like the life of the people, some of the people we see in the chat. Thank you. Thank you for creating a life for yourself that even when you hate your job, you hate things going on in your life, you are not so miserable that you find the need to spread misery to people who don't even impact you in any way. Thank you. You are like, you're probably doing much better than you think you are because you see how bad it could be. You could be on other people's YouTube channels trolling them right now, switching between accounts and gathering the homies to troll them too. Why would you do that? Woo! Imagine how sad that life is. Like, absolutely pathetic that life is. And be proud of yourself that no matter what you have going on, you are not them. And so, my loves, we're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to rest. What are we going to do? We're going to rest. We're going to leave here and rest. We're going to come with a plan. Let me run through this list real quick. Monica Adelina has been kind enough to be recapping it in the comments, but I'm going to give it to you 1 through 10, and then I'm going to get out of here because, like I said, I is hungry. And I can feel the bass from someone in the building. So somebody's having a party. Let me see if they got some food. Okay. Number 1 is rest. Number 2, explore a hobby you haven't had time to in the past. 3, visit elderly relatives. Visit young relatives. If you're an elderly relative, have them tell you their stories, right? Number 4, go somewhere you've always wanted to go. Go somewhere you never imagined yourself going. You have the time, right? And even if you don't believe it, you probably have a greater amount of time, money, flexibility than you ever will, right? Number 5, do things in the city you've always wanted to, but you've put off. This is for my retirees as well. Number 5. So I said number 5, do things in the city you've always wanted to do, but have put off. Number 6, take some time to think about the life you actually want to live. I'm going to say it again because it bothers people so much, or it was bothering someone in the comments so much. Take some toxic people out your life. Take them out your life. Kick them to the curb. All right. Number 7, decide if you want to work again. Number 8, decide what work you want to do. Number 9, decide when your next break is. And number 10, rest. And before I get out of here, remember, group coaching for From Burnout to Bliss tonight. If you want to join us from nope, that is not how you spell it. From burnout to bliss.co. In the comments, you have until 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight to get in the group to join us. If you get it to me, if you get it after 8, I'll be focused. Before 8 Eastern time on November 12th, I'll shoot you the link to get in. burnouttobliss.co. We talk about this all the time. This is the kind of stuff we talk about in group coaching. I want you guys to have the best experience you can on a career break or moving abroad or early retirement, because we do have some some retirees, some future retirees in the group. So whatever your take a break from working plan is, come to From Burnout to Bliss, and I will help you meet it. Thank you guys for being here and being so loving and kind. And you guys did an excellent job ignoring the trolls today. I was worried that like some of you guys were going to get into it with them, but we let one of them live for a solid like 10 minutes. And y'all did not respond to him at all. And I was so proud of you. Honestly, I was watching. I don't know if you guys could see me get distracted every once in a while because I was like, why would you write this? every once in a while. You guys did such a good job of not getting distracted, not getting into discussions with the trolls, because they clearly just want attention and a hug and some love where they're not getting love in their life. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here with us. I will see the From Burnout to Bliss squad later today. I will see, hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Or if you're still here and you ain't like this, hit the dislike button, baby, so you don't see my content again, please and thank you. If you are a coworker, we co-work every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. Eastern time to 11 or 12, or maybe even 1 Eastern time. On my other channel, that's Rashida Dough, Dough. I'll post about it on this channel in the community, so you can get the link if you're not already subscribed over there. And then my YouTube community, this community, meets on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you're not already a member of a community, you can join by clicking the join button on this channel. And I saw that Mira joined the channel. Yes, Mira. Yes, Mira. Hope you'll be able to join us this Thursday on our Zoom session at 9 p.m. Looking forward to that. Kay Stewart says, co-working is awesome. It really is the greatest community. I love y'all. Anyway, it's time for ribs. See y'all. Rest. Yes. Bye, guys. See you next time.